right, so stand up right there. So if you're related to me, I want everybody that's related to me to stand. And if one person don't stand, she know we gonna fall out. Everybody that's related to me, please stand. I know Carlene is not sitting down. That's the one person I was talking about. That's the whole mess. So, and most of you all I met because of DNA or because I just know your business, your family business. Am I right? Yeah. So I've been researching forever, so I get in your business, yes. And one day they're gonna put me out of Harnett County. I hope not, but anyway. So I'm gonna let Deena talk a little bit and then we're gonna go. She's trying to get that
Okay.
mic fixed.
I'm gonna stand up so you can see me in the back there.
All right.
Some of you I know and some of you I don't, but what's so exciting about today is I've been doing genealogy since I was 12 years old. I was just fascinated with it. So for years and years, I've been doing family history, and the other day it struck me, there's always one or two people in a family that catch the bug and carry the torch and carry the flame. You've seen the Olympics where they light the flame and it keeps going. You guys are it. Look at you. You are it. You are the flame. You are the fire that's keeping your family heritage going and making your ancestors proud. I truly believe that. I'm gonna try not to cry, because every time I say that, I get touched. Me and Desi, like he said, 8 years ago, I decided to do a DNA test, because all my life I was told that my grandpa, my third great grandpa, had Native American blood. How many of you have been told that? Everybody in this room? Yeah, you people over there too. Some of you it's true, really is, but the rest of us, there's something else going on. Surprise, surprise. When I got my DNA back, and my mother's DNA back, and my grandmother's DNA back, and then her cousin that was a generation older than her got his back, we're all like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Why do we have African American blood showing up on our ancestry DNA? Well, that began the search. So one of the first cousins I reached out to was Desi, and said, what's going on here? How are we related? And he's like, I don't know, what are your family names? And yeah, we thought maybe it was the white McNeils, I thought, that lived around here in the white McLeans, but no, it wasn't. And so there began our quest. And over the last 8 years, we've been able to follow our tree up, and with a lot of research and a lot of help from people and a lot of asking questions and a lot of reaching out to people, we have found that we are first cousins. We share the same 5th great grandma and grandpa. Yeah, so there you have it. And 6th and 7th great grandparents. And they are Jenny and Joe McLean from Harnett County here, where Jenny was bought in Virginia. Well, she actually, yes, was bought in Virginia and walked to North Carolina when she was just a little girl, 8 years old. And then she was enslaved her life here in Harnett County. And then her daughter, Sarah, that we come through, was enslaved here in Harnett County her entire life. And then my 4th great grandmother, Jane, was enslaved here. She was bought by a man by the name of Neil McNeil, taken to Missouri. And she would have had to walk probably that 1,000 miles, 9 months pregnant. As soon as she got there, she delivered my grandfather, my 3rd great grandfather, and he was enslaved until he ran away. And he was part of the Underground Railroad and got to Kansas, where an abolitionist by the name of Colonel John Ritchie took him into his home and actually let him live there. There's city directories showing and censuses that he actually lived with Colonel John Ritchie, who was part of the John Brown group, big thing. And then my grandpa joined the Civil War. He was on the Union side and fought for freedom, and he was safe during his Civil War service, thank goodness. And then he married a white woman, and they moved to Great Bend, Kansas, where they lived for 20 years. And my grandfather owned a hotel, a livery stable, a hack business, a dray business, an omnibus business, and a trolley car business. He was quite the entrepreneur. He hired a man to run his books for him, and the man started taking money. And pretty soon my grandpa was broke. And so he didn't have a penny to his name after owning all those businesses. So he decided to move to Utah, and hence me in Utah. So that's how I got from, we'll talk about this a little bit, Desi will. Can we talk about the Hebrew stuff?
Yes.
Okay. So just recently we have, through DNA again, if you have a DNA test, please take it with Ancestry. Don't take it with those other companies. Sorry, it's just.
Don't do that. 23andMe is good too. No,
Oh, I know, but
most of us are doing it.
Ancestry has more samples, millions and millions and millions of samples. So that's how we can connect and we can find each other. So make sure you take it through Ancestry. And what was I gonna say? Oh, because in the last couple months.
Almost a year now, really.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The Hebrew?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true, we went to wherever, I'll let you talk about all that. We started noticing Nigerian DNA matches,
100%.
100% Nigerian people that have born in Nigeria, their parents live in Nigeria, their grandparents live in, back. And so we got in touch with a couple of the DNA matches, talked with them, and sure enough, they are related to us. And so, not too many people can do that, like actually, like on roots, Kinte, going back and actually finding where you come from. So don't give up, it's possible, especially with DNA now. It's just, that's the ticket. So, I'll let Desi talk about it.
All right, I'm gonna sit down, because me and these knees, they don't always cooperate. So that's how we connected. We've been connected for about 8 years, and it's between me and Deena, and a lot of other people within our family that has contributed to our findings. And we found that Joe and Jenny had 14 kids, at least 14 kids. Now, it may not be that they are all their kids, but they are related to them. They're probably their nieces and nephews, but we have DNA to every last one of them. Even with Sarah, who also had 14 kids, we have DNA to all of them. Some of their DNA is stronger than others. I know, like with the McDougal line, one of the McDougal lines, we have almost 60 matches of people that have taken the test from that line that we match with. And some of them are not so strong because DNA is not, everybody don't get the same DNA. DNA is what we call random. So I always use this analogy, and this, I can't even get the word, I always use this
Example?
I was trying to say the other word, but I couldn't get it. I have a jar of M&Ms that have 5 colors in it. I have another jar that has 5 different colors in it. My parents have 5 children. We make 5 piles. Everybody don't get the same colors.
Some's gonna get 1 yellow and 3 red, and the other
Yeah.
kid's gonna get no yellow and 1.
So that's why it's important for
That's how it
all, for everybody to take the DNA test. My mother, I got her to take it. I even convinced my mother's mother, my grandmother, to take the test, which was an act of Congress, to get her. She was willing to take the test, but she thought something else. She thought something else. She was 95 years old when she took the test.
And sorry.
No, you're all right.
The farther back you go, so the older people
Yeah.
have more DNA in their body.
Yes.
So try to get the older people, because DNA gets diluted each generation.
Each generation.
So try to get the older people.
So I was able to get my mother, me, my sister, my niece, several of my first cousins. So all of us have something different. And when you look at all of their DNA, each person can help me find a different person in my family. So my sister has a strong connection to my daddy's mother. So she can track the Elliots, and if I call a name that your family's in, just say yeah. The Elliots, and there's another name that is very strange, McSwain, and the Smiths, and all the Riverside Smiths, well, they all come from the same place. But they came off the Haversboro plantations, that's a whole other story. So those people, my sister has very strong connections to them. So does my first cousin, Valencia Bell. Her mother was my daddy's sister. And she has the same thing. So and I have a lot of connections to my father's side, which is the McNeil side. And there's a lot of reasons for that, because I'm a Campbell, but I'm not really a Campbell, and I'm ashamed to say it. But I'm kin to the Campbells, but I'm not really a Campbell. Y'all figure that out. So, it just kind of...
Yeah, I have 11 siblings, and most of them have tested, and we all have different matches.
Different match, yes.
We'll match, some of us will match the same people, but then there's other people that the other people match. But that doesn't mean we're not related, because my mom and dad took the DNA test, and we are all their children. And beware, if you take a DNA test, you may find things you may not want to know about. Or you may be really shocked about. So just
And
be
that's
aware
what
of
it
that.
is. It is what it is. And we know about it at this point. So we've been able to track these 14 children for those two generations because of DNA. So that's how we came up with this second edition of the McNeil story. This was 2000 and I don't remember what year it was, but it's been about 3 or 4 years ago. So right now, I'm trying my best to finish up volume 3, which is gonna be the last volume. Because I mean, right now it's 463 pages, and I probably got another 100 pages to add to it. Because of DNA, we connected all those people. So we were able to connect ourselves to what we call Igbo. It's spelled I-G-B-O. And a lot of people say Igbo, but it's Igbo. So they say E and Boo, all right? And last January, February, somewhere around this time, that's when we started making those connections. And we started with like 2 or 3 DNA matches that were 100% Igbo. As of today, we counted about 2 weeks ago, we have now 50 matches that actually come from the Igbo tribe.
Sorry.
Go ahead, you go ahead.
Keep interrupting. What's interesting is, I never thought of this in my mind. The Igbo tribe is trying to find the people that were stolen and taken from their tribe, just like we're trying to figure out who our grandparents are. I never thought of that before. I don't know why. Did not enter my mind. So that's really interesting that they're just as curious, what happened to their people.
And they have an Igbo village right there in Staunton, I think it's Staunton, Virginia. They recreated the Igbo village. So that's what they normally have what they call the Igbo festivals. Well, last year they decided to have it in Georgia, St. Simon Island, Georgia. And there's a reason, because there's a place called the Igbo Landing, which is where 50 slaves, and it was 1803, got off the ship. They were determined, from what we understand, the Igbo people were warriors, and they were very resilient, and they were stubborn, which explains a lot about my family. Even myself. And they walked out of the ship and walked back in the water and drowned themselves. So they took the Igbo festival to St. Simon Island because they wanted to do a memorial to those people. So we went, and you'll see some of that in the video. We went, 93 of us received what we call an Igbo certificate. So
you get an Igbo name, and the king signs it. The king of Igbo land, Nigeria, comes to the festival, and he signs it, and he gives you a blessing.
Yeah, they do all the dancing. I couldn't keep up.
It wasn't nasty.
It was.
No, I didn't say it was nasty. I couldn't keep up with the dancing.
Oh, the dancing.
Yeah, it was out of my
And
control.
after you get your name, you have to stand in a circle and kind of dance.
Dancing, yeah.
But you don't have to.
I enjoyed it though. I really, really enjoyed it. It was moving. I mean, I've never been a part of anything like that. I've never seen anything like that. It was actually amazing. So today, I have a couple of certificates that belong to people that supposed to be given to him last year. So I'm gonna call them up. Elsie Campbell Lee. Is she still in the room?
Yes.
Where's she at?
Over here.
She gonna come get this. I don't remember how to say your name. Do you remember?
Your Igbo
Do you
name.
remember what it stood? Lord have mercy. So Elsie is my cousin, Charles. And then McKinley Douglas, who was not supposed to be my cousin, but he's also my cousin. Because of DNA. So I know there's a couple of more that I got to give out. That I want to make sure y'all get your certificates. If you want to be a part of, if you've taken the DNA test and you got that Nigerian connection, most likely if you're from Harnett County, Cumberland County, surrounding, most likely you're Igbo. So we want you to make sure you take the test, give me your name so that we can put your name on the list. They're going to do the festival again in August in St. Simon Island. And we went down there for a weekend. It was probably 10, 12, no, about 14 to 15 of us went. But 93 of us got a certificate. All right. So you don't have to go, but it's something.
It's amazing. They do dancing, they serve their traditional food, they have ceremonies, I mean, hours and hours and hours of wonderfulness.
Yeah, it's great, but the food, I ain't gonna talk about it. Yeah, the food is, y'all gotta pray about the food.
They have a mixed meat.
Yeah, we
We're
don't know
not
what
sure.
that
We
means.
didn't dare ask.
However, me personally, after we left there, I went to the buffet. Well, we all went to the buffet.